Fresh from the showcase here at SwissWatchExpo, today we are discussing a beautiful Breitling Bentley that has a case material and dial that looks like it is straight out of the future. So let's check it out. As some people may be familiar with, Breitling ended their fairly long partnership with car manufacturer Bentley last year in 2021, but we still have some incredible, and in this case, completely unworn limited edition Bentley watches available. So this is one of the last special edition pieces that they released as part of this partnership, and it is a truly special one. This is a 45 millimeter carbon case edition of the Breitling Bentley, this one with a GMT Chronograph world timer movement, which is really impressive. I don't know if this is the last or one of the last Breitling Bentleys they made, but it was definitely a pretty special piece to go out on. Mainly, the first thing that makes this watch so special is going to be the case material that this is made out of. Bentleys, for the most part, with very few exceptions, are pretty large watches. Some of them can be outright massive, even bigger than this 45 millimeter case, but the carbon material that they made this out of is incredibly lightweight. I mean, even a titanium case feels like you're practically lifting weights compared to what this watch is. Incredibly lightweight. It's going to feel like you've got almost nothing on your wrist at all. And as such, it has a super interesting finish on this that is really impossible to get out of any metal. Of course, completely matted. There's not a single shiny surface on this watch, really. And even the grain of the side of it almost looks like it's carved out of a piece of finished wood or something. If you get a close-up of the side angle of this case, it's truly remarkable. And for as futuristic a type of material as making a case out of carbon is, it does give sort of a warm, old-fashioned feel to it, which is probably the only thing you can really say about this watch, because this is definitely a very capable piece. Carbon fiber dial as well, which I think matches with this case perfectly. The color-wise, I do love the dark color. That does seem pretty consistent across, and you do get the really bright contrast with the markers here. So this is a very legible watch. I mean, still technically considered to be a watch to be worn from the cockpit of a race car. So that definitely makes sense. They didn't want to make anything too incredibly jumbled or hard to read like you would find on, say, a Navitimer dial with a similar GMT movement. This does have the Breitling B04 movement, so it's a chronograph with a GMT function. Those unfamiliar with it knows this has an incredible 70 hours of power reserve here. So a very modern watch with a very modern movement inside of it. And of course, we do have the rotating bezel here, because while this does have the same B04 movement that has in plenty of other type of chronograph watches, or GMT chronograph watches that Breitling is making now, this bezel does technically make this a world timer. And we do have all of the cities listed around the ring here that you would come to expect in a world timer watch. So again, a lot of information on this dial, but still incredibly easy to read. So this is an incredibly impressive watch. I also love the pushers on the side here. These are some very large sort of levered type of pushers here, and I love the action you get off of them too. It's a very lightweight case, and that's sort of I don't know how much that has to do with how easy it is to sort of push in and release these chronograph pushers, but this is one that's going to be very easy to use on the fly as well. So this is an incredible chronograph for a lot of different reasons. As it's a completely unworn Model 2, this is going to be really rare, if not impossible, to find this watch in this condition elsewhere. But you also have an uncut strap here with basically enough room for at least a 9-inch wrist here. So no matter what size you are, I know Breitlings are very popular with some people with some larger wrist circumferences. This is definitely one to consider, because at 45 millimeters, this is very large for most people, but maybe not everyone. But you do get this full rubber strap here that says Bentley on both sides of the strap here, as well as Breitling on the inside. No exhibition case back, but it does show you the limited production number of this. This was limited to just 250 pieces. So I don't think there's been many of these for sale anywhere on the internet from the day they released it. But we've got an incredibly unworn edition right here. So if you're a Breitling collector, if you're looking to get your hands on as many rare Bentleys as you can now that they're not making them anymore, this is one that needs to be on your short list. Of course, if you are maybe not too deep into the Breitling weeds when it comes to your collection, want maybe your first Bentley, your first Navitimer, or something else entirely, subscribe to our channel if you haven't yet, because we're dropping new stuff every week. And of course, shoot us an email and give us a call at SwissWatchExpo.com.